Tonight on the Pioneer Sideline, the action keeps rolling along for men's and women's basketball as conference play continues. Regional sports news and national sports news have been grabbing some attention and details, and former baseball player Phil Novotzik got the chance to catch up with one of the stars of the team. So let's get this started as we head on down to the Pioneer Sideline. Welcome to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Chris Hoffman. The men's basketball team has struggled this season and has now watched their record to dip below the 500 mark. Kyle Anthony now joins me in studio. Kyle, were the Pioneers able to right the ship this week?
Well, Chris, the Point Park University men's basketball took on the number 2 ranked team in NAIA, Indiana Southeast this Saturday, and the Pioneers had upset on their mind. Pioneers came into the game with a record of 10-13 overall and 5-8 in the KIAC, while IU Southeast came into the game with a record of 16-3 overall and a record of 10-0 in the KIAC. Pioneers came into the game Saturday with upset on their minds, against the number 2 ranked team in the country. The first half did not go well for the Pioneers, and with over 2 minutes left in the half, the Pioneers were down 42-27, but after that point, the Pioneers were able to go on a bit of a run and were able to come back, and at halftime, they were only down 44-36. Southeast shot 40% in the first half, while the Pioneers shot it even better, 43%. The second half started out great for the Pioneers, and just before the 8-minute mark, the Pioneers were up 72-69. After that point, though, IU took control and ended the game winning 95-89. The Pioneers ended up outscoring IU in the second half 53-51. And the big reason for that was Gabe McNeil hitting 5 threes in the half. 5 Pioneers win the double digits, led by Gabe McNeil with 34, Josh Polott with 14, Nick Brown with 12, TJ Lanier with 11, and Matt Noska with 10. And Robbie Hetherington, the point guard, added 8 points and 11 assists. McNeil, Noska, and Hetherington played all 40 minutes in the game. Also, senior Gabe McNeil is only 37 points away from hitting 1,000 for his Point Park career. And the Pioneers now have a record of 10-14 overall and 5-9 in the KIAC conference. The Pioneers' next game is at Asbury on Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Now, Kyle, you look at it, this team has really struggled this season. They're only 10-14 on the year. I mean, they did play the number 2 team in the country, but really, that was probably their best performance we've seen from them all season. Yeah,
it was definitely a great performance by the team. I mean, their scoring helped in this game. IU Southeast is a team that likes to run and gun, and that's the Point Park style. But again, Point Park's problems with defense and not having enough bench depth really hurt them in this game.
Kyle, you see they have a few more games, and they go into KIAC playoff action. You mentioned the lack of a bench. On top of that, more injuries. Do you see them having any real chance of being able to make a deep run?
You know what, Chris? I don't see this team. I mean, they have a lot of good scores. Gabe McNeil's a couple points away from 1,000. Nick Brown's not playing that good, but I don't think this team has the depth, and defense is really going to kill this team. I mean, there's some teams in the KIC that can't score the greatest, but they will D the Pioneers up, and that's not a game they want to play.
You mentioned the very physical play. They get beat up in the down low. Again, the bench, it's really been an issue for them, Kyle. Do you really think they have any chance to really get a bench play going within the next couple weeks?
I mean, TJ Lanier has done a great job coming back from his ankle injuries and has played well, but he's still getting back into game shape. Brandon Kamick isn't playing as much with the comeback of TJ Lanier. And, I mean, if the big guys get into foul trouble again, like Noska and Polott, like we've seen, this team's done. They have no guard depth to come in. I mean, they have Cody Williams, and he's only played sporadically. So, I mean, the bench I don't think is going to get any better. I mean, it helps that TJ Lanier's back, but he's still not 100% in game shape.
Thanks, Kyle. There may be news overseas for the Olympics. But back home in Pittsburgh, there's plenty of news as well, and Brittany Lawfer now joins me to talk about it.
The Steelers are changing the lineup, and it's not on the playing field. Former Steelers player Joey Porter has been added to Mike Tomlin's staff as a defense assistant coach. Porter played for the Steelers from 1999 until after the 2006 season, when he signed as a free agent with Miami. He played there for 3 seasons before finishing his 13-year playing career in Arizona in 2011. In an interview with the Post-Gazette, Tomlin told reporters how excited he is to have Joey back. Joey spent a number of years with Pittsburgh as a player, and now he's back to assist the coaching staff. We look forward to his efforts and contributions. Pitt is also making some coaching changes. Iowa State defensive backs coach Troy Douglas has been hired by the Pittsburgh Panthers to coach the same position for the Panthers. In the report from the Ames Tribune last week, Douglas informed Iowa State coach Paul Rhodes, a former Pitt defensive coordinator, of his decision to leave. Douglas stated that the move to Pittsburgh will be closer to his Florida home. A graduate from Appalachian State, he has coached at North Carolina and South Florida before joining Iowa State in 2012. He has 24 years of total coaching experience. Tomorrow is looking out to be a big day for the Pittsburgh Panthers basketball team as they prepare to face Syracuse at the Peterson Events Center. They are looking to redeem themselves after their loss of 59-54 at Syracuse on January 18th. Coach Jamie Dixon and the Panthers were outraged after the loss, feeling that they should have won. They were leading the game 52-49, and in the last 4 minutes, they were not able to score more than 2 free throws. Currently, Syracuse comes in at number 1 with a 23-win, 0-loss record, and Pitt's record lies at 20-4. At least the Pittsburgh Penguins are on break due to the Olympics because Chris Letang will be off the ice for at least 6 weeks. At the end of January, Letang suffered from a stroke, but his condition is treatable by blood thinners and is not believed to be career-threatening. Letang will not be reevaluated for at least 6 weeks, but management expects that Letang will return before next season.
You mentioned there, Chris Letang had the stroke that really surprised everyone. He was out of the lineup for a couple of days due to a mysterious illness. It came out that it was a stroke. How scary is that for a player? I mean, they're in the prime of their career. They're in their 20s, and they're having a stroke, which is something, when you're that healthy, you really don't expect to have.
Definitely. I mean, Chris Letang is only 26 years old. And they also found that he had a hole in his heart, which, I mean, that I read that it does occur like 1 every 4 adults. But that could have been a cause that led to the stroke at such an early age, because usually it's obesity or something. But I guess in the beginning of middle of January, he started feeling dizzy and nauseated, and then they found out that he had suffered a stroke. That's pretty serious. He has a couple more years he could definitely have a great career with, and they say he's going to be back, but there could be some long-term effects that can come back and haunt him.
Now, Brittany, real fast here before we go to break, you saw Joey Porter's back with the Steelers. He won his Super Bowl with them in 2005. How big is that to have him as a coach?
Well, he knows the Steelers. He knows the team. He's a Pittsburgh boy for a while. So he's ready. He knows the team. He knows the area. He's going to be great and like a great motivator for the Steelers to get them where they need to be.
Thanks, Brittany. After the break, the women's basketball team had another thrilling game, but could they pull it out in the end? Johnny Frywald will join me after the break to see if they could do just that, and I will have this week's National Sports Report.